Expressing the hate is the cure. Expressing your pain is your cure. Many of us empaths feel a very strong anger, hate, and all kinds of feelings like that. And many of us are here to express it in a safe environment, meaning if you are an empath who experiencing pain, you're experiencing unresolved anger, you're experiencing feelings like you never felt before, meaning so-called negative feelings, because it is just a so-called negative feelings, but they are come to the surface in order to be expressed. And many of us did not know what our job here is or what our task here is. And we felt those emotions. And we feeling those emotions in order to bring them to the surface. A lot of us are working with the collective. A lot of us have those dreams where, for example, I would say, in the last 2 weeks or the last, few weeks, I have experienced incredible, strong feelings of hate for men. And then so funnily enough, I see a blog on the 12th of October where they talk about how, the organization of ISIS or whoever, it doesn't matter, are raping women. And many of us had been here in the ancient times where we were suffocated, buried alive, mutilated, raped, beaten up, and burned at the stake, and all those feelings. When basically most of that was done by men. So a lot of us are here to really express that anger, release it. It comes to the surface, and many of us are really experiencing our past. Maybe you met someone, maybe whoever that was a really, really big enemy of yours in so-called times when you did not know how to deal with those things. You were on a lower level of consciousness and you did not know, and that energy got stuck in your system. You never could really express that. So it is very important that you are expressing that hate. It is a method of releasing unresolved anger, pent up feelings, anger, which actually prevents you of being healthy. Your vital energies, life energy can flow thoroughly and truly unrestricted. So a lot of us are really releasing this pain out of our own stuff. Plus, if you are Pisces like me, it's like, okay, collect all that. I can cry like I can cry like I'm in a river, So basically I can express feelings. I'm all about feelings because I'm Pisces. I'm a water sign, and I'm all about emotions, and I can sense emotions like no other. And I can release emotions like no other. So if you are Pisces, we are the last sign of the zodiac, or not, because there's a 13th sign, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So not everybody has to know about those things, right? They will know when they need to know. So we are releasing very powerful emotions. And why we are here is because we can release it without going and taking a chainsaw and cut people up, right? Because most of the people are not self-disciplined enough and not conscious enough. So they might do stuff like that, whatever. But we are here we are like a free agent. We are really, really are very conscious. And we are here to become the pillars of light. We are the pillars of light. But to become and really be in full power, we also need to release all of those pent up stuff that we accumulated during 26,000 years approximately. And so this is a time which is given for the evolution of a soul, where she and he or her, whatever, it doesn't matter, experiences all kinds of things and grow. So this is why we're here, many of us. But you're taking care of your own stuff. You're taking care of, you can sense a lot of those things, and you have to release it. This is what it is. Okay, so if you feel that pain, and the other thing is what I felt recently, it was a very interesting thing. For 3 days, I had a pain in my vagina down to the bone. I mean, we are releasing the pain of all the rapes that we go through, the sex slavery, the sex abuse, sexual abuse, and all that stuff. And although I was experiencing stuff like that, not to a very severe, but in a way, in my teenager years, by a friend of a family. So many of us went through stuff like that, maybe not as severe as during those centuries, whatever. But anyway, so we're releasing that pain. We are. And so you might have the release, and that feels like really like your nerve endings in your womanhood, at pain. You will release that. And it's basically, you're also releasing the mother wound, all the ancestral lineage, all the women in your family. And my grandmother was raped by Russian soldiers. And so those are the things that we're releasing. This is the theme nowadays, at least for me and many of us. So it's very important. And the funny thing is, when I was experiencing all those very, very severe emotional pain, I needed to release it through cursing. I had to express it, and don't be afraid to express it in a safe environment, meaning you are being in your room or whatever. It doesn't matter. Curse if you want to. Send people to hell. It does not matter, because what matters is that you can release that, and you dare to release it, and you dare to curse, and you dare to whatever word. It does not matter what comes up. You are doing a great favor to yourself of being able to release that anger. It is your task, because you either going to not release it, have it unresolved, never express it, and then it stays in your system. This is not what you want. You want to release it. That's why it comes to the surface. That's why you feel those feelings. And without judgment, of course, first you're going to judge it, but eventually you're going to say, okay, so what am I judging here? I'm judging my own pain. I mean, why am I judging my own pain? I need to release this. It comes to the surface on purpose for me to be able to release it. So basically, you're either going to release it safely, and allow yourself and dare to release that and not have judgment over that pain that you feel, or you are going to bury it and then you're going to get sick. This is what you don't want. This is, most people, that's what they do, right? Unconscious people, sleepers, that's what they do. They bury the pain and it stays in their system. So they're going to get sick. And so then you have the other option. You express it, release it, and then your vital life force will be able to flow. Or you're going to turn it against yourself, mainly not being able to release it. You don't dare to release it by wording or whatever you want to do, or punch in a pillow, or I don't know, or exercise it out of you, or whatever you do. But you are going to turn it against yourself, maybe suicide, etc., etc. Or you are going to turn it against somebody else physically.